What up, fam? How y'all doing out there? So I was just getting a little message today from Spirit, and it's just Spirit asking us to slow down and to be still and reflect with where we're at currently and kind of what has been going on in our lives over the last 14 years, the last about decade and a half, while Neptune has been transitioning through Pisces. And for me, this has been a period of like really going deep within myself and reflecting on everything that I've been through, and everything, like the cumulative culmination process that has led to me kind of being in the position that I'm now in regards to my conscious awareness and where I see things moving forward. And I think it's a really powerful time period, specifically with the total lunar eclipse that we have coming tomorrow night, which is also a blood moon and also a full moon. So it's a very, very powerful energetic shift that we have coming in, specifically because the next 2 weeks are the final 2 weeks that Neptune is going to be in Aries, or excuse me, that's going to be in Pisces, which for me has been kind of like a being in the ocean of all the possibilities and kind of like dreaming in what I wanted my life to be, not necessarily yet having the ability to make those things manifest, and kind of learning all of the lessons that are going to be necessary for this next chapter, for those things to be able to ground into physical reality, into this third dimension. And so we have a 2-week period, basically, from, it's a little bit over 2 weeks, but basically 2 weeks from this tomorrow, this Thursday, which would be, I believe it's from about 9 p.m. until about 4 a.m. with kind of the peak around 1 to 2 a.m. for the full moon, total lunar eclipse, blood moon. And for me, the energy that I'm kind of receiving, and through the research and the studying that I've done, this is a kind of a rebirth process, and that it's almost like taking us back into the womb of creation and allowing us to be kind of born anew. And this is opening up sort of a liminal space, kind of a 2-week portal before we get Neptune moving into Aries. And that is going to be a liminal space, a kind of changing of the guard from where we move into this kind of like dreamy, going within period of understanding ourselves and understanding humanity and consciousness, kind of in an interior level, to that manifesting into the outer world, into our concrete 3D reality, and to things moving at a much higher rate. And this is kind of, from what I understand, the birth of what you would call the spiritual warriors. And it's like bringing that deep spiritual knowledge and understanding the ocean of all that is, sort of the kind of like bringing the subconscious awareness, which I like to call the kind of super conscious, which is like the consciousness of all that is, the consciousness of the divine, of the Most High, of our higher self, where your intuition comes from, all these things, and allowing that to move into the physical reality, allowing that to be manifest and to create that sort of connection and communion and allow a merging process to take place between the lower aspect of ourself and that higher vibrational aspect and that higher knowing. And through this process, we're going to be able to really push humanity to that next step over the next 14 years while Neptune is going to be in Aries, which is a very fiery, almost like a get things done energy. But it can also be the energy of war and of kind of like that Mars energy as well, which is, strength and direction, and can be, the good aspects of the divine masculine, but also it can be the negative aspects as well. So Spirit is asking us right now to really take this next 2-week period, specifically from the total lunar eclipse, full moon, blood moon, up until the point which is March 30th, where Aries, that morning, about 8 a.m. I believe, is going in, Neptune is going into Aries. So this next 2 weeks is going to be a period of reflection, of deep reflection on all of the life lessons that we've learned over the last couple of years specifically, but up to the last 14 years, over the last, that chapter, that chunk of our life, and what is important to us moving forward over the next 14 years. What is it that we really would like to represent? And from what I understand, this kind of portal that we're going to be in is a time for us to show the universe what we want and what we are willing to leave behind to create space for that life. So if there are things that we've been working on letting go of, or parts of ourselves that no longer serve us, vices or habits that we wouldn't like to take into this next chapter, the next 14 years of our life, Spirit is asking that we use this time as a time to make peace with those, to honor those parts of ourselves that have been coping mechanisms that have helped us to get through what we needed to get through, that they have been beneficial to us, and to honor that and to thank them and to give gratitude and to give space and time to that part of ourself, to honor that part of ourself, and just to make sure that those aspects that we're going to be laying down know how grateful we are for everything that they've done for us to help us to get to this point where we're ready to take that next step and to move into that next chapter. So this is really going to be like the first glimpse that we get of what the energy of humanity is going to be over the next 14 years. And that will be from March 30th up to, I believe it's October 9th or 10th, when Neptune is going to retrograde back into Pisces. So we're going to get a glimpse for those months there of what this energy is going to be like, a little like preview, a test run, if you will. And then at the end of this year, from October up until January of 2026, I believe it's the beginning of January, when Neptune will move back into Aries for the next 13 years straight. So, but that couple of month period here, which will also be coming towards the end of this year, is going to be that final look back at everything that we've been and all these lessons, and that final release, if there is any residual stuff that we're working on needing to kind of let go of to embody this next chapter. And that's what this, from March up to October is supposed to be, that test run for this energy, that we give this a shot and we start stepping into the person and the people and holding the energy of what we want to represent for that next chapter of our life. And we're going to run into roadblocks, we're going to run into issues, and we're going to have setbacks, and that's completely okay. This is all part of the process, all part of learning and understanding and expanding and coming back home to the truth of ourself. So Spirit just wants us to really use this next couple of weeks up until March 30th, specifically from tomorrow night moving forward, just to reflect and to find stillness within ourselves, and to find that space to take a deep dive within our own hearts, and to really look at what is important to us and what do we want for our family, for ourselves, for our friends, for our lives, for those around us, for the future of humanity. What is important? And I think that taking that space to really reflect on that is beyond important. It is everything. The world has gotten so fast, so fast-paced, and it seems to be just getting faster and faster and faster. And people have forgotten how to slow down, how to take a step back and be still. And Spirit is just really asking us that we take that space to slow down, to be still, and to reflect. And in these liminal periods, these kind of in-between spaces, one energy that I have been working with, and that is kind of a protector, a guardian of these spaces, is Hecate, which is an embodiment, like a goddess form of the divine feminine, who works with these spaces. So if you don't know anything about Hecate, or this is the first time that you have heard of Hecate, I recommend you do a little bit of research. But she is, from all of my understanding, the one who helps us move through these periods. So if you're kind of unsure of what to do, or what to ask for, or what to look at within yourself, I recommend that you reach out in prayer and meditation, and just open yourself up to receive that guidance, and to give yourself a chance to connect with that energy, and to connect with the divine feminine within you. Specifically, if you're a masculine, and that can refer to men or women. We both have masculine and feminine within us. So when I say if you're a masculine, I'm not necessarily referring to just men, but I'm calling to all beings to reflect with their divine feminine, and to connect with their divine feminine, and to bring that into a harmonic resonance with our masculinity. And so often in this world, in this kind of results-driven, hierarchical, patriarchal society, our masculine has kind of run wild, and we get so caught in sort of this get things done, I gotta work hard to make things happen type of attitude. And Spirit is really calling on us to be slow, to be still, and to open ourselves up to receive, and to know that the universe itself, that the Great Spirit, that the Divine Mother, that God the Father, that whatever the energy is that you want to call the self, the Supreme Being, which is residing within every single one of us in our hearts, to allow space for this energy to bring in these miraculous things into our life, and the healing that we're needing, and the cellular regeneration, and the activation of our 12-strand DNA to allow us to access these higher dimensional states, and to allow us to understand ourselves in truth. So yeah, just some reflections that I've been having today, and kind of some guidance from Spirit that I wanted to share with y'all. So yeah, I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, and I am sending out the biggest prayers and blessings and love and light and all of the good things to each and every one of you, and wishing the absolute best for all of us, for all of you, for our people in this transition. So with all of my heart. I love you. Aho.